Hi everyone, Jody Mueller here, and I just wanted to give a quick message to any of my Iowa peers that are definitely going through parental alienation. And since our governor in Iowa, Kim Reynolds, has not addressed the situation of parental rights that are not fundamental, they're not written down as fundamental in the state of Iowa, I, as a Republican voter, would find it morally, I guess, I don't know if that would be the right word, morally unacceptable for me to vote for her, to cast a vote for her, unless she is going to address this situation and address the situation that parents like myself that are going through domestic violence, even though the perpetrator is not in my home, he is committing violence against me by keeping my children from me and by turning my children against me. So if you're in the same situation that I am, I implore you to please contact the governor's office at area code 515-281-5211. That's 515-281-5211. If you're a mother or a father that is being denied access to your children because of a vengeful ex-spouse that has turned your children against you. I'm not talking about custodial interference here. I'm talking about parental abduction and withholding a child and having your children being taken from you because a judge is making profits for the state by taking your child from you and keeping them from you, whether it's visitation or custody. Please call the governor's office if, in fact, you are a registered Republican. This is very important. If not, call anyway and ask what she plans to do. But if you are a registered Republican in the state of Iowa and a parent going through what I have gone through and many others, I would ask, I'm asking, begging you to call the governor's office to ask if she is going to make a statement and make a commitment to our families that she will do an executive order to make parental rights written as fundamental, and her number is 515-281-5211. That's 515-281-5211. If you're not in Iowa, you're not an Iowa voter, I'm still asking you to call that number and to ask if she will make a statement and just say that you are a concerned citizen, or a concerned U.S. citizen, and that maybe you're going through the same thing and you want to hear from her, because if I was the start of a lot of things, the caucus and all these things, this would be a great state for this to be started in, and it could develop into something good for other states, because some people have their eyes on Iowa. A lot of legislators, candidates do all the time. So please, if you're not from Iowa, please help us out here, 515-281-5211, and ask Kim Reynolds if she's going to make a statement about parental rights being fundamental, and we would like executive orders for those of us that have lost our children due to false allegations by an abuser, or false allegations or false reports, for those that had CPS cases that have lost their children. There's lots of grandparents that should have had kinship care that don't, and they're in my group. I have zero CPS involvement in my case and still never saw my children, and so far I've lost 5 years with two of my children. As of October 30th of this year, I've lost 5 years and never laid a hand on my children. And there's many of us, mothers and fathers alike, with the same kind of story. I've lost close to 4 years with my twin daughters because of lack of education in the courts and the mental health system, and our governor up in Iowa does nothing about this. So if she's all about mental health and talking about that, we're wondering why she's not making a statement about us. We know it's incentive driven. We all know this. But we want a statement from her so we know how to vote. We're either voting, some of the Republicans are going to vote Democrat, and that would be a sad situation for the Republican Party. Like I said, I'm a registered Republican, but if I was voting up there, I would not be able to cast my vote for her. And I don't want my Republican friends to be upset about that, but I would have to vote for Jake Porter. And Jake, if you're listening, it's nothing against you. I know that you're concerned with these issues as well, and you're probably going to get a lot of votes because from the Republican Party for sure. Mothers and fathers that are going through this. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully she'll make a statement. I was hoping Jake Porter would be able to debate so he could make a statement, but of course Kim didn't want to debate him. So hoping that everyone can help us out here. And I don't have a Trump hat, but I have a Des Moines Buccaneer hat on. And anyway, I have no reason why I don't have a Trump hat other than if I was to wear one and someone knocked it off my head, I'd probably be in jail. So that's the main reason. But Trump did say if you have children, you're going to see your children. Well, then we want to know why that's not happening as well. So I would think that Governor Kim Reynolds would be on board with that. We've got all these Hondurans that are getting ready to cross the border. And so the Title IV-D for flipping custody, that's going to be going to feeding these people. And the Title IV-E for removal of children through CPS. So why is it we're going to be feeding these families that are intact and together, but we don't have our own children? So we need to stop worrying about these border children and their families and turn them away and start helping the approximate 40 to 50 million children affected by parental alienation. So please, once again, call Kim Reynolds' number, 515-281-5211. I'm not asking you to lie if you're not from Iowa, but I am asking people that are not from Iowa to please at least call, say where you're from if you want, or just give your name, and that you're a concerned citizen, and that you want to know if she'll make a statement so that the Iowa voters will be able to make, a informed decision November 6th. So that would be great. Iowa voters, this is very important. Please get out there and vote. Don't sit at home. Don't be a keyboard warrior complaining about it. You must get out and vote. Like I said, we want to know how we're going to vote. So we want a statement from Kim. Either she's not going to be on the side of us and that she doesn't care about parental rights. I don't know. I can't speak for her, but from what I've seen so far, there's been nothing. It's just crickets. So it's very, very sad for that party. So hoping she'll do the right thing. She's talking about IPERs and teachers and all this and education. Well, our children are suffering in these schools. Our children that are alienated are suffering in these very schools she's talking about. Plummeting grades, antisocial behavior, anger issues, all sorts of things. Drug abuse, alcohol abuse, all sorts of things are happening because the Iowa ACES 360 is not on board with parental alienation education. They think it should be a subsection, and it should not be. It should be at the forefront. These elevated ACE scores are what drives school shootings, all right? So these alienated children have usually, mine for sure, have an ACE score of 6. School shooters are an 8 and above, 8 to 10. That should be alarming if there's children like mine that are 6 and above. That should be alarming for every community. And I'm not saying that all these children, or any of these children end up being school shooters, but why are we not eliminating the source of the problem? We need to eliminate the source of the problem and make parental rights fundamental so these children can have both parents. Both parents. If these parents are not guilty of any crimes whatsoever, neglect or abuse, then they should have access to these children. Alienated, the parents that are targeting the other parent, they need to have a real come to Jesus meeting and to be in some sort of counseling, therapy. I don't know if it can happen, but we need some help out here with these types of folks. So please call that number again, 515-281-5211, and ask for a statement from Ms. Kim Reynolds so we can make an informed decision on voting day. Thanks very much, and get out there and vote. Appreciate it.